All right. So once you have the upside down egg shape, Jack, could you please pick on the next person to read number 2? Who'd you pick? You got it, Belle. Can you read number 2?
Split that egg, that head shape, in half vertically and horizontally.
Nice. So you want to do the vertical line first. This one's pretty easy. We can kind of eyeball left and right and very easily ask ourselves, hey, is that the middle? Yes, it is. And once we have the vertical line on there, you just want to eyeball where you think halfway is. And then put a little tick mark. You always want to put the tick mark and measure that before committing to the whole, like drawing the entire horizontal line. Because chances are it's in the wrong spot. So, I guess it's been a little bit since we used our pencil to measure. If you're out there, though, and you've been practicing on your own, you've been drawing in the sketchbook, maybe you've even gotten better at this. But just in case you forget, this is how we do it. Take a look up at the screen, got that pencil flat on the table. And then I'm holding it very differently than when I draw. I just pick it up with the thumb and index. Have my thumb and index lined up at the bottom of the face there where the jaw is, and then the end of the pencil is where that tick mark is. And you want to slide the pencil up until the thumb and index are even with that tick mark. And if it's the same exact measurement on both sides of the tick mark, that's how we know it's perfectly in the middle. If it's a little short or a little bit long, then all you got to do is correct it. And then you can commit to drawing the line. But, you know, early on in the drawing here, I am drawing this stuff so lightly, dude. You got to keep it light at the beginning because we're not sure if we're even where we want to be at yet. So if you're someone out there that kind of naturally draws with a heavy hand, I'm just giving you a free reminder. Lay off the gas pedal a little bit. Have y'all seen that episode of SpongeBob when he learns to drive? And he's like, floor it? Mrs. Puff's like, nah, just use your toe. If anyone out there has ever tried to drive, it's about the big toe, dude. You just want to press down real lightly with that big toe. And SpongeBob's like, floor it! All right, Belle, you got to pick the next person to read number 3.
Blair.
Go ahead, Blair.
Eyes go directly on the horizontal midway line.
Yes! Blair, you got to pick number 4 then. Who's going to read for us for number 4?
The entire head is about 5 eyes wide. Make sure to a third eye can fit in between your main 2 eyes and your have proportionate spacing.
Nice. It's a fun word. Proportionate. Let's circle 3 and 4 and star them, dude. This step is so important. You can put together the first 2 steps pretty quick, especially after we practice it a bunch. But you gotta slow down and make sure you got 3 and 4 perfect, because everything else gets measured off of these. So I'll show you how I go ahead and set this up. Keep in mind this part right here. Entire head's about 5 eyes wide. So while I am drawing this eyeball right in the middle of the face, it kind of looks like a cyclops at first. You want to try and estimate and be like, you know, this is about 1/5 the width of the face. So not a super complicated eye, just a basic almond shape that you have going on here. And then you can just measure this And ask yourself, hey, does that go across the face? About 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Somewhere around 4 or 5 is going to be perfect. So I know what you're thinking. Why the heck am I drawing an eyeball in the center of the face? Well, I'll show you. You want to capture the measurement like this. Got my index finger. Boom. That's lined up with this corner of the eye. The end of my pencil perfectly lined up with the other corner. And then check this out. Slide it over to the left. Put a little tick mark here. And boom. We have our eyeball. And it's perfectly in proportion. And then we do the same thing the other way. We're going to need to switch up hands, though. Got my index lined up with this corner, end of the pencil lined up with the other corner, slide it over, put a little tick mark, and that's how we plot in the second eyeball. The whole reason why I printed off this beautiful picture of Kelly Slater is so we can double check this stuff. Because people will be like, my eyes aren't that far apart. My eyes aren't in the middle of the head. They are. They are. Just draw a little third eye right in between Kelly's 2 eyes right there. Just double check these measurements. That's how you get nice spacing there. So a lot of times the very first time we go to draw a human face is going to be in elementary school. So over here, I'll start drawing some classic mistakes from the elementary school portrait. Very circular face. People will draw the eyes too high up on the face. There'll be circles instead of almond shapes. Something like that. Anyway, let's see here. Maddie, you need to pick someone to read number 5. Very good. It's going to be drawing down another tick mark and, slicing things in half, slicing and dicing stuff. But I'm just looking at the bottom part of the face, from the eye line to the jawline, and asking myself, where is halfway? That looks like it's about halfway right there. Draw a tick mark, and then double check with the pencil measuring to make sure, yes, that is indeed perfectly halfway. Tegan, could you please call on the next person for the width of the nose there, the next part? Yep. That's how we make sure the nose is not too wide, not too skinny. It's perfectly in the middle. So let's all draw on Kelly's face. We're going to turn him emo. Nice trail of emo tears coming down from the inside corner of Kelly's eyes. We could freehand that on our own drawing. And you'll see the width of the nose lines up perfectly with the inside corners of the eyes there. We're just going to draw a basic nose shape. I just draw a couple of C shapes for the edges of the nose and then a squiggle line in the middle. Something like that. Boom. A very common mistake, once people measure out the eyes, they'll start right drawing this eye here. And they'll be like, oh, here's the pupil, here's the iris, here's the little tear ducts, eyebrow, eyelashes, and they'll spend like 30 minutes on an eye. They haven't even tried nose, mouth, ears, hair, neck. You want to do a quick little sketch of the thing and then move on to the next thing. That's what we want to try and get in the habit of doing. Mace, could you please choose the next person to read number 7? Yep. So, let's circle and star number 7. This is one that everyone messes up all the time. Just kind of turn our brains onto cruise control, autopilot, because we're slicing stuff in half all the time. But with the mouth, it's into thirds. So look at this here. From the nose line down to the jaw here, we're going to draw 2 tick marks that need to be evenly spaced apart. Breaking up this whole section, the whole like top lip, bottom lip, chin into 3 equal parts. And I mean, it's smaller, but you can still totally use the pencil measuring to double check your work here. Just make sure each section is the same size. Boom. And the mouth is 1/3 of the way down from the nose line. So this tick mark here, we end up drawing a horizontal line that's a bit longer. And that is the middle of our mouth. And I just realized I forgot to type in the second part of the mouth here. So we can just write it in with the old-fashioned way. Write it in by hand. You can draw a little arrow coming down here too. Width of mouth. Width of mouth lines up with the center of the eyes. So this is our second trail of emo tears. It's like instead of picking up a surfboard, Kelly picked up a guitar and was born in the Midwest. And he became a lead singer of an emo band instead of a pro surfer. Maybe in an alternate timeline. Emo tears coming right down from the center of the eye. That is going to line up with the width of the mouth. You just very quickly sketch in top lip, bottom lip. There we go. I'm not too worried about little details and, how realistic the eyeballs, nose, and mouth look at this point. It's just about the basic idea here. So in elementary, a lot of times we do what's called symbolic drawing. So we'll just rock like a triangle for a nose, or maybe this is what they do in like manga and anime all the time. Something like that. And then for the mouth, like a line like that, and then it'll be like perfectly symmetrical. But normally the top lip is much thinner. The bottom lip is a bit thicker. The bottom lip stays flat for a bit longer too. Top lip has one of those things going on at the top. And I'm telling you, as far as it lining up with the center of the eyes here, I'm talking about the very, very edge of the mouth. It's like the very outside corner crease of the mouth. The lips are not going to go all the way out there. The lips always end a bit early, a bit before the outside edge of the mouth there. Okay. We're almost done, so I'll just kind of keep talking us through the rest of the part of the stuff here. We got number 8. The whole bottom part of the face, you want to turn into straight lines. So you follow the same path that has already been sketched out, but we don't want to keep it very round and alien looking. We want to make it look more human. So this is where we start sketching in the face shape, the jaw line, okay? And right around here is when we can kind of start adding some different specific facial features too, because some people have a hard jawline that's very defined and obvious. Other people, it's a bit more rounded, more subtle. And anyway, once you have the jaw shape on there, I like to tag on the chin shape. It's like, just comes down a bit lower than the original drawing there. Which brings me to another thing I forgot to type up. The neck. We're going to have to hand write this one the old-fashioned way, too. The neck, dude. Classic thing in the elementary portrait over here. When little kids go to draw the neck, they just do something like this. Long, skinny neck, like that. We want to try and have a neck that's nice in the middle, not too wide, not super skinny either. So this is the last trail of emo tears here. And it's different with Kelly. Kelly paddles on his surfboard all day long, so he has very developed shoulder and neck muscles. But most people, the neck is going to line up with the outside. The outside corners of the eyes. The neck lines up with the outside corner of the eyes. Third trail of emo tears coming down from the outside corners here, and then a couple slightly slanting vertical lines there. Man, I drew my chin a bit too obvious, looking like the crimson chin out here. Anyone tell me what show the crimson chin is from? Blair? Fairly Odd Parents, dude. The cartoonist, the main cartoonist, animator from Fairly Odd Parents. He's from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Little known fact there. Okay, it's starting to look like something. Maybe like this lifeless humanoid nightmarish thing, but we're looking like something. Okay. Moving on, we got the ears, dude. In elementary and maybe even now, people draw tiny little microscopic ears. If you take a closer look, we see the tops of the ears are up there by the eye line. And the bottom of the ear lines up with the nose. Look at that. So here's the eye line, there's the nose line. Yeah, the ears end up being a lot taller than you might think. But look at this. They're not very wide. People draw the ears like you're looking at it in the profile view, and you can see like every single little detail in the ear. But when you're looking at the frontal portrait, we can't really see that much going on. So it's kind of like a tall, narrow looking like C shape is what I'm seeing. And the last little thing here is the hairline. So the hairline is going to be a tick mark about a third of the way down from the top of the dome there. Sometimes it's a bit lower, sometimes it's perfectly halfway, but I'd say that's only like real extreme cases. It'll be that low. For the most part, it's like about a third of the way down. And that's where the bangs start from. And boom. It's kind of the basic hairline there. And I always love tagging on the hairline at the end. It just kind of brings the portrait together, because before that, it's just kind of looking like a an alien. So you got to know this stuff. A lot of times in elementary, this is the last little thing I'll add with this elementary portrait here. People just kind of draw the hair sprouting out from the very top of the head. And they don't draw any sort of hairline, and it'll just be like, hey, this is my hair. We want to strive to, draw something a little bit better than that. Okay, those are the basics to the proportions there. If you're out there, dude, and you're interested in getting good at art, you want to go through what we just went through, on your own in the sketchbook, a couple times a day, every day for the next few weeks, and you will get so much better at drawing, at measuring with the pencil, at proportions, at drawing people. You get really good really, 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 really fast. All right? So that's for those of you out there, you're genuinely interested in art, maybe even thinking about some career in the arts or something like that. I encourage you to try and practice this stuff on your own. But I know a lot of us out there aren't even thinking about that stuff. We're just chilling. So whatever. I guarantee you will get a little bit better throughout the lesson, but just kind of all about how much you put into it. Anyway, let's talk about how you cannot have any homework today. You got to submit a self-portrait photo. It's due tomorrow. And this is what we're going to be drawing from. So what we just did with Kelly, we're going to be doing with our own face in the sketchbook. Don't worry, though. I'm not going to treat it like the shoe drawings. I'm not going to make you tape up a drawing of your face at the front of the room so we talk about it. You don't need to show anybody. You can just draw it in the sketchbook. So if you can't get it together and you don't submit a self-portrait, or even worse, you do submit a self-portrait, but I can't use it because you didn't follow the directions, then I'll be forced to print out your school photo, and you'll have to draw from that. So everyone does have the option to not do that, but every single year I always print out a bunch of school photos. And it's fun. It's funny. So yeah, it's this right here. Actually, not that one, it's this other one. Submit a self-portrait photo. We could even do it right now. Even if you're not going to do it right now, I still want you to get out the phone. So let's all get out the phone. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page with this stuff. And also, spoiler alert, everyone hates looking at their face. Okay? You're out there like, oh, but I don't want to do this. I don't have to do this because I'm super self-conscious. Everyone's self-conscious, dude. You're not alone in that. Okay? What you got to try and switch with your mindset is try and focus on proportions.
What do you think?
Okay? So many times with faces, human faces, we try and make it look good. Anytime you're trying to do that, you're always getting further and further from what's actually happening. So just try and focus on proportions. Like, how much space in between my eyes? How wide are the eyes? How wide is the nose compared to the mouth and the eye? It's just thinking about that stuff. So look at that first line there. Remember, keep the camera at eye level. Okay, so we're all doing this together. We got the phone out, and I have the camera at eye level. Just watch this. If you take the phone down here, everything gets distorted. Okay, it's not lining up the way we just learned. Same thing this way. This was like a major trend when I was in high school. All these girls would be taking photos like. Maybe it's still a thing. I don't know. It's called the duck face. That's what they call it. I'm glad the duck faces cease to exist. And also, we gotta have a neutral face. Okay, so just whatever your normal face is. People say I have a RBF.
Oh, there's me at the ring game.
Sure. Yeah, I wonder what that means. Let's see here. You can. But if it's anything like the rest of class here, a lot of you forget to do the thing at home when I'm like, hey, do it at home. And then we come to school the next day and it's like, oh, I was doing the. So you can just, just do it right now. Submit it. But it's up to you, dude. Something like that would be perfect. So you got to remember, this is not a picture that you're going to make your next profile pic or anything like that, dude. It's just we're learning the basic proportions of your face. Do you guys think I should make this my profile pic? Yes. Get my super lit Sasuke painting there in the background. It's me and Sasuke. At school, chilling at school.
I think you should caption it like me in art class.
Nah. I'm good. I'm good. Anyway, that I'm telling y'all for real, this is like the most boring way of doing portraiture, but you got to be able to check it off the box. You got to be able to do this. You got to be able to draw the portrait from the frontal perspective in a neutral expression. Once you master that, once that looks good, then it becomes so much more fun. You can start drawing what a face looks like when you're angry, when you're sad, confused, all these different emotions, different ethnicities too, like all this stuff. That's when art gets real fun. Let's see. I wonder if there's any lit videos of Kelly Slater's completely.
Oh my god, he had his eyes closed. Tell me his eyes are closed. His eyes are not fucking. Bro, are you not looking at this? Oh my god, that's the only one.
Here we go. Kelly Slater, dude. Hey. I'll let y'all in on some surfer slang. This is called being in the green room. In the tube. In the green room, dude. I've never been in the green room. Maybe one day, though. Huh? Probably the first 100 times, you just explode yourself in the green room. Then after, you've been serving for a while, you maybe get out. That's the thing about all these extreme sports, though, yo. Snowboarding, surfing, skating. At no point in time do you stop falling. Like pros fall all the time, beginners fall, intermediates fall. Like, you're just constantly eating it all the time in all these board sports. So that's why it's not for everybody. Yeah, I straight up forgot about that song. That must be a highlight from like 10 years ago. A Burger King sandwich review?
Stop it.
Let's go.
Burger King's disgusting.
This Burger King is just an ever so slightly better chicken sandwich, but they are almost identical in taste. What's that weird?
I thought it was gonna be like a funny beep noise for 2 seconds, then it just hung out there for like 20 seconds. Is it day 4?
Yeah.
It's day 4. Oh my god, bro. They just cannot get it together for announcements this year. It's so... Look at that.
First Citizens will buy about $72 billion worth of assets at a $65
Sure.
billion discount. Another $90 billion winning receivership. The failure of SCB sparked the fear of financial stability, as it's the first time FDIC insured banks to fail in the last 2 years.
Huh? Oh, okay. I'll just keep it in focus. You want to put it in yourself? I'll check it out in focus.
Ben, the bear's name, escaped from the enclosure.
I've never seen my room.
The zoo said it reinforced the enclosure after its first escape, but Ben still managed to get out a second time.
Every single person gets 1 week outside of work. There you go.
Well, that's all the time we're at PZ. We gotta go have a nice day.
Everyone was drawing with all these pens. Man.
And they can stop with that beeping.
As long as you sign it out. Yeah, sure.
Looks different. My uncle called him Shaggy. What white man is that? Oh, Shaggy. You know, did he cut his hair look shorter? Like, change the eyes on your face. No. Like, comes to work like it's completely like this. No, I get an idea. Sometimes get off. Where? You realize I don't have your number. No, it's fine.
All good. Yeah, I have a little example there, but people seem not really see it. Sure. Yeah. Oatmeal raisin. Chocolate peanut butter oatmeal. Later. Have a wonderful day.